I'm meteorologist Alex Cordero. Winds out of the east-northeast tonight should keep us mainly clear, but as we advance into the afternoon, we'll likely start to see more of a gradual eastern trend and even a southeasterly trend. That means more showers and storms, and the humidity kicks back up. Temperatures not really affected much. That's your Noe weather.
Live from the WTXL studios, this is ABC 27's News at 11.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I'm Paulo Salazar.
And I'm Abby Maurer. Tonight, Virginia TV station WDBJ is still trying to make sense of the murder of their reporter and cameraman on live television. The shooter, Vester Flanagan, used to be a reporter at the station. He also used to work at NBC 40 in Tallahassee. WTXL ABC 27's Jade Balexa spoke with one of Flanagan's former co-workers at the Tallahassee station and brings us more.
He describes Vester Flanagan as unsure, insecure, and always on the defensive. And now coming into light are the issues of mental health and guns.
It was shocking, disappointing, sad, and angry. And it was really even more overwhelming because this was someone that I had worked with.
Michael Walker would have never suspected a former colleague of his at WTWC in Tallahassee was capable of killing two people. He recalls his personality.
But he seemed to be one of those people that probably needed some help managing his anger and managing how to deal with criticism, constructive criticism. One of my comments about Mr. Flanagan was that he never really took constructive criticism well from anybody.
He worked as the weekend producer at the same time Vester Flanagan was the anchor and reporter. And when it comes to gun ownership, there's a new call to strengthen mental health screenings. One of the victim's fathers speaking out.
These people are crazy and they can get handguns. I'm for the Second Amendment, but there's got to be some common sense.
Walker told me he wishes Flanagan would have got help.
You know, unfortunately for Mr. Flanagan, he either didn't seek that help or no one was able to reach out to him. We'll never know.
Michael Walker says his thoughts and prayers go out to the family of those victims, the station, and the entire news industry. Jade Balexa, WTXL ABC 27, dedicated to you.
And you can find more on this story online at WTXL.tv.
A Florida State student is arrested after she confesses to officers that she lied about almost getting kidnapped. Now, according to officers, 18-year-old McKenna Wilbrett called FSU PD saying she was a victim of an attempted abduction near a sweet shop on Jefferson Street around 2 a.m. this morning. FSU police assigned 2 investigators to the case, but during the interview, police say the 18-year-old admitted to making up the entire thing. Wilbrett is charged with making a false report of a crime.
Tallahassee Police Chief Michael DeLeo is responding to concerns raised by City Manager Anita Favors Thompson about a relationship he has with an employee at the department. Chief DeLeo says he wants to speak directly to the community and that he made a mistake in dating someone before his divorce is finalized in September. He also apologized for creating a situation that he says distracts from the work being done at TPD and that he understands what kind of negative impact the relationship could bring, telling the community, quote, "I have decided to place the needs of the community and my family first and continue to focus on the responsibilities as your chief of police," end quote.
Tonight, Talquin Electric is warning its customers about a phone scam. The company says several customers have experienced calls where the caller pretends to be from Talquin Electric, saying that Talquin and the city of Tallahassee's bills are billed together. Now, the caller then threatens to cut off their utilities and demands payment over the phone. Now, Talquin says they will not call customers and demand immediate payment on utility bills.
Let's check in now with meteorologist Alex Cordero and find out what's the latest on Tropical Storm Eric.
Yeah, we'll have more details on that later on in the newscast because our new advisory has come out. Good news is we haven't seen much strengthening of Erica. The bad news is, especially for portions along the southeast coast of Florida, you have to continue to keep your eyes on this system as it will likely make its way very close to the region. The almanac for Tallahassee International Airport, earlier on this afternoon, we actually saw the mid-90s reach. Now, it wasn't unbearable outside, but still a little warmer than average. 94 we saw. Compare that to the average of 91. The average low, though, a good 7 degrees cooler than what we're used to seeing. 65, a nice 29-degree jump. So it was drastic out there. You woke up in the morning probably feeling, it's more like fall. But summer came in an instant as soon as the sun was able to help keep us on the warm side. Temperatures are still rather mild in Tallahassee, 81 degrees, 77 in Thomasville, upper 70s in Moultrie and Valdosta, as well as Apalachicola, seeing a 76-degree reading right now. Titan radar showing not a lot of action across the way. However, a portion of our viewing area just to the north of I-75 in Hamilton County, an area that was dealing with a severe thunderstorm earlier. Yeah, we're starting to see more showers and storms along the area. Other than that, most of the action continues to stay across the eastern Gulf of Mexico. All this associated with a broad frontal system that will actually move out of our hair. And with that in mind, we'll likely see winds out of the south return, and that means more rain coverage and higher humidity. I'll have all the details on that, plus a look at Tropical Storm Erica coming up in just a bit.
Tonight we take a look back at an education program in the Griffin Heights neighborhood and how successful it's become in such a short time.
With school back in session, we also wanted to update you on standardized testing in Leon County.
That's right. Tonight, WTXL ABC 27's Stephen G. Winmall and Jade Biloxa have updates to both stories on this edition of The Insiders.
Back in April, we explored the controversy surrounding standardized testing. Students opted out or refused to take the Florida Standards Assessment in the spring. Claire Overholt opted out of the writing portion of the FSA.
The teachers already knew that I wasn't going to be taking it, so went very smoothly. I just logged on, and maybe about 15 minutes into the test, a teacher came by and said, "Are you taking the test?" And I said no, and she said okay, and I pressed end test, and my mom came and picked me up.
Some parents told us there are just too many tests given in school. They also questioned the validity of the FSA, and so did some members of the legislature. And in an insider's update, that test getting an independent study. The Leon County Schools testing director says last year's scores aren't even available yet.
If the test is determined to be valid and reliable, the state still has to then move forward and establish what the ranges are for each level. Level 1 students, level 2, 3, 4, 5. And so once they establish those ranges, then they will apply the student scores to those ranges, and then we'll get an individual student report.
Gregory says the scores won't harm the students, and it's more for the parents to know their progress. She says they don't anticipate getting test scores for many weeks to come.
In June, we brought you inside the Griffin Heights neighborhood, where a local church started providing free GED training to the community.
Now they can access their dreams. They can go to culinary school, they can go to TCC, they can go to Lively, because now they have access to what they want to do now.
After a break during the summer, the program is back and bigger than before, thanks in part to our report.
With the media and with the Facebook and with all the different elements and word of mouth, it has grown. We have more people this year. We have about 32 on roster.
We introduced you to Jermaine, the first graduate of the program. He's now working to get ready for college. Pastor Ferguson said he's the first of many.
All of them Jermaines to me. Every last one of our Jermaines who are hitting the ground running, and they're really here. They're raising their hands. They're enjoying the teacher. They're actually into the lesson, and they're actually enjoying themselves.
The church is partnering with TCC and other groups to provide laptops to graduates of the program free of charge.
We want to give them all the way, and we want to continue to let them know that they can access their future with a brand new laptop and a brand new GED high school diploma.
And if you've got a story for the Insiders, you can email us at abc27news@wtxl.tv. Attention, the Insiders. I'm Stephen G. Winmall, WTXL ABC 27, dedicated to you.
And still to come on your news at 11, an active shooter alert went out to Mississippi State University students today.
Plus, Florida State Athletics kicks off the fall season tonight with the annual Seminole Uprising. Sports director Allison Posey has more from the event. And remember, connect with ABC 27 on our official app. Stay up to date with all the latest local news by downloading the app for free at the App Store and Google Play. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Welcome back, everyone. The all clear has been given on the campus of Mississippi State University after an active shooter alert went out today. Now, no one was injured, and MSU president says that no shots were fired. A freshman at the school is now in custody, and charges are expected to be filed. Now, the maroon alert went out following reports of a person behaving erratically and threatening to harm himself and others. Everyone was ordered to take immediate shelter. The suspect was apprehended a short time later. Authorities say no weapons were found when the suspect was arrested.
Well, if for some reason you thought Facebook's massive popularity was waning, think again. The social media giant saw 1 billion users in a single day this week. It happened on Monday, and founder Mark Zuckerberg announced the unprecedented benchmark today. He also noted 1 billion users is equal to about 1 in 7 people on Earth, writing, quote, "It's just the beginning of connecting the whole world." The company reported in July that it had roughly 1.5 billion people logging on at least once a month.
Authorities in the Bahamas are bracing for an impact as Tropical Storm Erica churns through the Caribbean. The National Hurricane Center says maximum sustained winds are nearing 50 miles an hour. Erica is set to move toward the Virgin Islands today before passing north of the Dominican Republic on Friday. Now, the storm is expected to dump up to 12 inches of rain on the Bahamas and other islands through Saturday. Mudslides and flash flooding pose the greatest threat to lives and property. Erica is forecast to reach hurricane status within 75 miles an hour, sustained winds as it nears Florida on Monday. And let's turn things back over to meteorologist Alex Cordero with another look outside. Alex.
Paula, we're talking about Tropical Storm Erica, and while it still is a few days away from the Florida Peninsula, I'll outline the risks of what we should expect across our region and how it may affect our rain coverage and any friends and family across the peninsula. Take a look at what we're seeing right now with the satellite imagery. Erica's still somewhat disorganized. I'll tell you why and what we can expect with her coming up in just a few minutes.
Welcome back, everyone. Meteorologist Alex Cordero joins us now. Alex, we really enjoyed some nice temps this morning.
That's right.
Are they going to continue on until tomorrow, possibly the weekend?
We may see somewhat similar patterns when we wake up tomorrow morning, though a little on the warm side, because we're starting to see the gradual trend back to what we're expecting, those lower 70s, the clouds, hit or miss, not the clear fall-like pattern we have been experiencing the past couple of days, though it's only a few months away before we actually start to see it as a consistent trend. Take a look at Erica across the Lesser Antilles and the Leeward Islands. As you can see here, it is looking rather disorganized, but still a decent-sized system. And the convection, that being the thunderstorm activity, is trying to organize around the center of circulation, which was exposed earlier today to that drier air. And when you get that to occur, not only does it really help to weaken the storm, but it really doesn't strengthen it either because of the fact that it can't focus all the convection around and start to look like a typical hurricane with the eye that we see. Now, I still am expecting this storm to strengthen, but it's going to have some roadblocks in the pattern, especially in terms of not only some dry air still, but also land masses in the form of Puerto Rico and Hispaniola. Take a look at the forecast track of this storm. Right now, 45 miles per hour. Winds haven't really changed much throughout the afternoon, moving toward the west at 17 miles per hour. This is a little on the important side here because if it stays more due west, that can overall affect the pattern on as to just how far east this storm will make its jog when it decides to turn to the north because of a weakness and high pressure across the Atlantic. Take a look. If it continues to push toward the west, maybe we'll see more likely impacts across the Dominican Republic. If that occurs, that may weaken the storm somewhat more and possibly hamper its strengthening However, we're still expecting it to be a Category 1 system and virtually ride parallel with the East Coast. So if you have friends or family along Miami-Dade, Broward, Palm Beach counties, let them know to keep a close eye on this system. Not a guaranteed landfall by any means, but as we get closer and closer, models are looking more confident with some direct impacts with the storm. Whether it be a tropical storm or hurricane, the rain threats and the wind threats are more and more likely as we advance on through. Titan radar not too bad across the region. We were monitoring some stormy action across the Suwannee River Valley earlier. A few severe thunderstorm warnings for not only Taylor and Lafayette County, but also for Hamilton and Eccles counties. We saw some hail possibilities and also gusty winds along the region. Temperatures are still warm, even in Valdosta, 79 degrees. Moultrie also picking up that reading, 76 in Marianna, while Live Oak, a 76 as well. 73, the cool spot in Homerville. Dew points, though, not as dry as what we have been seeing the past couple of days. That's the reason why it's still a little warm in Tallahassee. You're getting a muggy reading of 70. 60s in Bainbridge and Marianna. That can help support some ample cooling, but temperatures cannot drop below the dew point level. So if the dew points are sitting in the lower 60s, we'll likely see the temperatures drop or be somewhat above that actual level. Forecast map shows this frontal system pushing away from us, and with that in mind, that draws in winds from the southeast. We start to see more of the moisture coming in from the Gulf of Mexico. We get an increase in dew points, which means the afternoon starts to feel muggier, even if the air temperatures aren't as hot as what we are used to seeing during the summertime months of July and August. Friday afternoon, not looking too bad, but a few showers and storms are definitely possible. Tonight, temperatures dropping to the mid-70s, or actually, did I say mid-70s? That should actually be the upper 60s. Friday, we'll call 69 degrees, but notice the mid-70s return by next week. So it's something to keep a close eye on around average levels after Saturday.
So we're just getting a little bit of taste of the cooler, right?
Just
a little treat. Nothing that's going to be here for a while.
That's right, but only about a month or so away before we start to see the 60s as a consistent trend, so I can't wait.
4 weeks. We got that.
A few more weeks.
We're towards the end of the heat. Thanks, Alex. Sports Director Allison Posey's up next. Stay with us.
Yeah.
Our sports director, Allison Posey, is joining us now. And Allison is so jealous you're getting to go out there for the Seminole Uprising earlier. And I was telling Paula, I said, I don't remember this when I was in college.
Yeah.
But it's only been happening for 10 years.
Yeah, it's
and
been happening
I graduated
for 10 years.
before that.
Yeah. What?
It wasn't around.
What, over a decade ago?
It wasn't around when I was at FSU.
Dated herself.
But it's a neat idea.
It is a great idea, you know, and they said that it's definitely something they want to continue every year because it really does. It gets everybody hyped up. And one of the things that everyone was saying was a whole bunch of athletes were out there. And they said one thing that Florida State does really well is support each other. So you're going to see the football players at the women's basketball games and the soccer players at the baseball games. So it's just an incredible family-like atmosphere at FSU. And
They had a good crowd.
That today. A great crowd. Like I said, a lot of fans, marching chiefs were there. We were jamming out to some FSU tunes, and just a good time overall. 9 days, guys. That's all that stands between us and Florida State's football season opener against Texas State. The guys, they're starting to hone in for that opening game, but football isn't the only sport that's about to get rolling. The beauty of Florida State athletics is that there's a lot of good teams to cheer for. The defending national champion soccer team takes the pitch in their home opener tomorrow. Volleyball kicks off their season tomorrow night, and today at Dick Howser Stadium, athletes, coaches, and fans alike gather to celebrate the beginning of the athletic season at the 10th annual Seminole Uprising Pep Rally and get hyped for a hopefully successful year.
Everyone's so excited about the upcoming football season. I think that's different from how it was a few years ago. I mean, FSU football has truly made a comeback. Everyone's so excited for the first game in 9 days from now. So you can just feel the passion on this campus behind the football team and all of our fall sports.
A lot of excitement in Tallahassee, and there's a lot of excitement in Wakulla County as this weekend the War Eagles face off with Spartanburg, and you can witness all of it right here on ESPN. Yep, Wakulla, one of the few high schools every year to have their game broadcast nationally. It's going to be a good one, too, as Spartanburg, the defending Class 4A Division II South Carolina State champs. They've got a lot of good talent, and head coach Scott Cleese says his guys are ready to play and ready to represent their hometown.
Our home field is always packed. Every home game, our stand, we know for a fact it's going to be packed to the max. The hard work that we put in ever since last year, I mean, it just finally gets to pay off, and we're ready for it.
We're humbled that we have an opportunity to play on national TV. Our kids have a great chance to show what our school and our program's about, and they've worked hard to get to this point. I can only imagine what the stadium's going to be like on Friday or Saturday afternoon, and at this point, I can only imagine what the stadium's going to be like on
Very cool. That game kicks off at 1 at Wakulla on Saturday. And after not playing last week against Leon, thanks to injury, quarterback and LSU commit Felipe Franks is 100% and ready to go. This weekend, 15 Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu athletes from South Georgia and North Florida will head to Atlanta to compete in a competition. And while many of them will place, it's the story of Ian Edge that'll really grab your attention. For 28-year-old Ian Edge, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu just makes him feel normal again.
It was something I fell in love with, and I found confidence in myself again. It improved my life in a lot of ways.
For Ian, the path to normalcy wasn't easy.
Full metacarpal. It was actually, you can see here, blown to pieces almost.
While serving in Afghanistan in 2011, Ian stepped on an IED and went through 2 amputations, metacarpal and knee disarticulation.
I thought about just my family and my wife and how one of my biggest fears was just letting my family down. And I knew as long as I kept breathing, I could, make it through.
Ian made it physically, but it was mentally where he struggled to survive.
Okay, yeah. My cardio is getting better.
Enter Zekro Academy in Tallahassee, where Ian signed up for jiu-jitsu, a sport he'd learned while rehabbing at Walter Reed National Military Medical Center.
I came in originally, I had the pants on, and I was like, hey, I want to try some classes. And, no big deal. And I was like, by the way, I only have one leg.
I saw that guy walking in, and limping one of the legs. First I didn't know, what was about to come.
I wanted jiu-jitsu, so I came here, and as soon as I heard Felipe talk, that heavy Brazilian accent, I was like, okay, I think I'm in the right place.
The right place at the right time.
Who knows where I'd be without it? I'd still be going through the ringer with medications, with the VA. Try this, give it a while. I come here, and I see what I can still do, and that confidence carries me through the day. So it's been literally life-saving.
When I saw him come in, I could see that his prosthetic was pretty high grade, so I knew he had come through the VA system. I asked him, what was the disability percentage you gave you when you got out of the military? And he said, I'm not disabled.
Not disabled, normal, just like everyone else. Despite any challenges Ian may have, he's learned to work around them, embraced by Nato and the other athletes alike, and all agree they cannot wait to see him compete this weekend. And don't expect Ian to compete in any special division either. He'll be going up against other able-bodied competitors. Pretty cool stuff. Stay with us. Where's the weather?
So we may get some last-minute good temps in the morning.
That's right, but rainfall returns for the weekend ahead. So.
All right. Well, that does it for your newscast, everyone.
We'll see you back here tomorrow night. Have a good night.
But yeah,
This is ABC 27, dedicated to you.